Good morning again, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have a great message for you this morning.
You always do.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh, because that's what I claim. Okay, I claim it, and Spirit just flows right on through me. My topic this morning is it gets better. It gets better, and I'm glad you're all here to hear this. Okay, there's a movement across the country today geared toward the teens who have been bullied. All right, and who've been going through a very tough time of adolescence. Emerson's lesson that imitation is suicide is a lesson that has permeated the race consciousness. And we have more and more people today who are stepping up and stepping out into their uniqueness. It's happening everywhere you turn. See, but applying that uniqueness can sometimes be difficult to implement, especially during adolescence. See, especially during adolescence, where not blending in with what everybody else is doing can sometimes mean certain disaster. Okay, it's hard enough sometimes just to get through that period in our life, but to be doing things that are different from everybody else, well, that can really make things uncomfortable. Now, what I find is that people tend to fear things that are different. Okay, now we know that they don't understand things that they don't understand and have had no exposure to. This is what we actually fear: the things that we don't understand and that we've had no exposure to. Sometimes we think that it's prejudice, but it's not even really prejudice. It's something that we just don't know anything about. Something that we've closed our mind to because it's very different from anything that we've ever seen before. Things that we rail against because we're not familiar with them. Okay? Now, people tend to fear things that change the rules. Boy, you start changing somebody's paradigm, and you may have some really serious problems on your hands. So you look at the world today and you look at what's going on in the world today, and that's where a lot of the conflict is, because there's that possibility of the rules changing. Don't ask, don't tell. Gay marriage. Okay, now I'm not up here to speak for or against any of it. I'm simply saying that in each case it would mean that the rules would change. And you see a lot of people either fighting for or against what they're watching. So, and right now in our society, what we begin to see is that everything is being shaken up. I don't know if you've noticed it, but everything has been shaken up and settling in new positions. That's what the fallout is, that what was no longer is. A lot of people are saying, what I had, I don't have anymore. The way it was isn't the way it is now. See? And what that has done, it has basically thrown the planet into a state of very great discomfort and unrest. You can feel it. You can feel it. So, and as a result of bullying, teen suicide is up. Okay, and so we have this movement across the country that's letting our teens know that while things may not be the way that, the picture may not be as rosy as you'd like it to be, but it gets better. Things may not be really pretty right now, but it gets better. Many celebrities have joined the campaign. And they're doing public service announcements. They're putting up things on their Facebook to let people know that even they were bullied in their early lives. This even happened to me, they're saying. But the messages that they're also giving is that, but it's not happening anymore. Back then, nobody wanted to be my friend. Today, everybody wants to be my friend. So it gets better. That's the message. And even President Obama and Secretary of State Clinton, they're even joining the campaign and putting out messages on this very thing. It may be difficult, but hang in there, because it gets better. So I think this is a great movement. And I think it's also a great message, even if we're not teenagers. Even if we don't have any bullies in our lives right now. It's a great message for anybody who's going through a very tough time right now. I was watching television on Thanksgiving Day, and they were interviewing people, families who were standing in line for a free meal. And so many of the people that they were interviewing were saying things like, I never ever thought I'd be standing in a line like this. I never thought this would be me. I've seen other people on Thanksgiving standing in line for a meal, but I never thought it would be me. And not just Thanksgiving Day. Today you hear people saying things like, I never thought the day would come when I didn't have my own house. I never thought the day would come when I didn't have a job. I never thought the day would come when I felt so all alone. But again, what's happening in our world today is that everything is being shaken up. And in the fallout, everything is falling out in different places. People will say, where's my house? Where's my job? Because everything is different right now. So there are people in the world, not just teenagers, who need to hear this message today, that it gets better. See, not just teenagers who need to hear the message that just because things are not great right now doesn't mean that it has to be that way forever. So don't get stuck here. But there's an unspoken assumption in that message that it gets better. And it's that assumption that I want to address this morning. Because there's something that we presume when we hear that statement, it gets better. We presume that the key element in things getting better is time.